Good evening, everyone. I am Kiran Murali. Today, we are at this press conference by Press Information Bureau, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, at the 56th edition of International Film Festival of India. Before we proceed, let me remind you this press conference is live streamed on PIB's YouTube channel. And please put your devices on silent or please silent them off. So today we have the team of movie yes, it's an important movie which has the just finished the world premiere. So the theme of the movie, This Tempting Madness. So we have the director, Jennifer,
Hello.
producer, Andrew,
Hello, thank you.
and the cast, Suraj Sharma
Hi.
and Zenobia.
Hello.
Okay. About the movie. Yes. The movie is inspired by a true story. After a near fatal fall, Mia awakens from a coma, grievously injured, her memory fractured, and her husband missing. As fragments of her past resurface, love, guilt, and fear blur together until she can no longer tell what's real. Haunted by doubt and desire, Mia's search for the truth leads her to question not only her past, but herself. So now I request to play the trailer of the movie, please.
Oh. No. No. Please.
It's sickness.
Wait, this trailer is not for the public.
You heard it. Everyone did. You know, I spoke to Mom today. She knew.
There was an understanding that this trailer was shared to them in advance, not that it would be, not that it would live stream. Okay. Then we'll just show the poster. Okay.
You're comfortable?
So thank you guys. That was a really short version of the trailer. The
So
trailer's
please
trailer.
show the poster.
Okay.
You're
A shot
comfortable.
from the movie.
Yes, and they have already seen this?
No.
They have
Okay.
not seen the trailer.
Okay.
No, they have not seen the trailer.
Oh.
I see.
So this is
Okay.
our please turn on the light. Sorry for the inconvenience. We'll have the poster of the movie on the screen.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually,
Thank you for your
Yeah.
understanding.
yes.
Our
you.
trailer is not permitted to be public yet.
Okay. Thank you.
But
Thank you for mentioning
Apologies
that.
for that. Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning that. I feel the poster itself encapsulates the emotion, the stress felt by the character. So we'll start from that note, from the director. What you have to say to this audience about the movie? Few words about the movies.
Yes, so as he said, it's
Just turn it up.
As he said, it's inspired by a true story. And that's pretty unfortunate, right? Because it's dealing with content that's very, very difficult to talk about and a very difficult subject matter to broach that's so often kept private and behind closed doors. And that that can be really dangerous for a lot of people. And so we're hoping that this film can help give context to some of that for an audience and create conversation.
Thank you. That sets the context. Now the producer.
Yes, it's always very difficult dealing with any story that is based in true life because there's a responsibility as a storyteller to both be faithful to the material, but also to deal with it in a way that is meaningful and find some sort of interpretation for the events that have transpired. So that was our goal, was to both be faithful to that story, but also to find and interpret a meaning for these experiences. Because for us as filmmakers and storytellers, that's really important to us. And we hope that by trying to find some interpretation for it. It poses questions that then we can all discuss.
Thank you, thank you. Now, from the cast, Suraj, we have Suraj here. So, as an actor, like being part of this interesting, intriguing movie, please share your thoughts.
It was quite the experience. I think it's a privilege to be part of something where you're trying to talk about things that are very very hard to understand, and at the same time very universal to a lot of people. You got to understand, like, things like this, like mental illness and abuse and stuff like that, is a huge thing all over the world. Like 11% of women go through this all around the world. In India, it's like 36%. Heavy, right? So to be a part of that and help bring those things to the table as something that we can join in the conversation about is a privilege. Then again, within the movie, trying to find a way to be in the mind that it's finding itself is hardcore. And it really was something where you had to constantly find the emotions, find the space, find the place, find the story. And in that's an experience and a learning process in itself. And I think we've all learned a lot from it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Zenobia.
Yeah, and actually, it was really helpful to see it before we come to talk to you, because I was thinking about, I played the mother, and so in crafting the character, especially the Indian parent, the whole, of course, very, very supportive in the beginning, and very, trying to keep her calm and trying to get her well. But then there's also this layer of, like, this remains with us. This doesn't go anywhere, which is a really, it's such a stigma in Indian society, right? I mean, we all know the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law equation in this country, and the amount of, there's been bride burnings, there've been all kinds of things. And the whole thing is, kisi ko bolna mat, right? Don't tell anybody this happened. And however socioeconomically advantaged this family has become in another country, the mother is still very, like, placating the daughter and saying things to her like, maybe you needed to be softer. So, there's still that sort of undercut layer of misogyny almost coming from the mother, wanting the daughter to be more traditional instead of saying he should not have done that. And I just found that all of that in crafting the character, but also to shed a light on that, and that has to stop. We have to stop telling our daughters to be smaller, and we have to help our men to be better.
Nicely said.
So it's like, rather than being an intriguing genre itself, like psychological thriller, about that, you are connecting the taboo issues like mental health and among the women also. So can I have a question regarding that? Like, how, and also it's based on a true incident.
Inspired by, yes.
Inspired by a true incident. So how difficult was that for you to balance the emotionally challenging sequences in the movie and a true incident also, like inspired? So how do you found that balance?
I think it's incredibly difficult because it's
Yes.
very easy to tell this story just as a drama, but ultimately you're hoping to grip the audience so that they stick with it a little bit longer, and it's something that they want to watch even if they don't have a background in this sort of circumstance. And to that end, it's also important that it's entertaining. And that it captures people. And it's also, when we were constructing it, we tried really hard to make it an immersive experience so that we really felt like we were inside Mia's head. Because so often the experience from someone after a horrible, tragic incident like this can be very isolating and very hard to understand, even for those who love them most and are closest to them and are totally on their side. It's so hard to understand what's going on inside their mind. And so that's the voice that we really tried to lift up here, is to give the audience just a small bit of what that feeling is for her.
Thank you. Now the floor is open for the questions from the audience.
Hello, Suraj ji.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Andrew G.
Hello.
I want to know the male perspective on this thing. While reading the script, you must have had felt somewhere a deja vu moment of what has been written in the script. Was there any such moment like that?
Could you could you explain what you mean by deja vu moment?
By deja vu moment, as in, while reading the script, that, yeah, something like this I have faced earlier in my life. Or with someone I
Yes,
know.
yes. Okay. So, one of the main reasons I did this, of course, outside of the script, outside of the story, outside of the fact that it's inspired by real events, outside of the fact that Jen is an incredible person to collaborate with, outside of the fact that Simone Ashley was involved, which is all great things. In my own life, there's been time where I found out that a friend of mine's sister was being treated really, really badly. And we had to break into this house and get all her stuff out because she was making excuses to stay inside of this problem. So for me, this is more than just, this is, in a way, this whole thing, quite literally actually, is a tribute to the people who actually have suffered this.
Thank you for that mention. Like, Andrew, something to add on to that?
It's hard to compare to that, but having, in many ways, or not in many ways, having lived through this to some degree personally, I would echo with Suraj that this is very much a monument, a testament to those people who are also allies to like Suraj was saying, to people who maybe are not strong enough or have not seen that they can be strong enough to stand up. And so, when we were constructing this script and coming from having experiences personally or being part of it personally, that was what was really important, was for this to be a opportunity to show that you can change and you can be stronger.
Thank you. So we discussed about the storytelling, like the intensity of story. So it's important to the audience has to connect with this. For that, have you adopted any cinematography techniques, like having intermittent cuts, so that she is building up her memory? So do you have any intentional techniques you adopted while doing the cinematography?
Yes. So it was constructed in a nonlinear way, and in doing that, there are also times when the patterns of her memory are repeated because the memory is so infallible and it comes at such odd times, right? And so particularly when you are suffering from amnesia, the way that the memories come back isn't always either fully accurate or just holistic enough to understand the context of the memory. And so intercutting between the small bits that she remembers with her current status is very much the way we structured the movie. And as we get deeper into the movie, those small fragments have more context to help her make more sense of them so that it's the full memory, which is what we build to in the end.
First of all, congratulations for being here. It's an amazing movie, The Tempting Madness. So my question is to Jennifer. So this is a movie, like you said, it has elements of Indian culture or what is inherent to the Indian taboo system or what we have. So how easy or difficult it was for you to first figure it out, go under the deep layers of the Indian system, and then convey it to an entire team, which is, again, an Indian collaboration as well. So what were your experiences of dealing with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that really speaks to what a universal story this is and how this really does happen around the world. This was never written specifically to take place with an Indian family. It happened to a friend of mine. It's inspired by that. She, was not from here, right? And it's intentionally set in the U.S., which is a very diverse country. So when it came to getting an Indian cast, it really centered around Simone. We cast the best person for the role. We talked to so many actresses in Hollywood, and when we met with Simone, it became that instant. She just sort of got something about the character. She really cared about fighting for the strength of Mia and making sure that people would see Mia's strength and her ability to come back as who she was. And that was something that I really valued in how she approached it. So when we chose Simone, that meant that her whole family had to be Indian. And that gave us the incredible privilege of then casting an Indian family. And we got these wonderful actors that I'm so privileged to work with. When it comes to making sure that the film fit into the context of Indian culture, of course, I put in a lot of research. Andrew put in a lot of research. I also have close friends from much long ago in my life, from growing up with many Indian families, that it's not totally foreign to me, but at the same time, I'm obviously an outsider. So there's so many little things that I don't understand. And for that, I really leaned on my cast. I really encouraged them to not be afraid to tell me, no, that's crazy, that's wrong, right? Or just to speak up if they really had an idea creatively that they wanted to insert or how they wanted to approach it.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, congratulations for the premiere.
Thank you.
I was just curious, Jennifer. During your research, did you read Virginia Woolf? Because the protagonist, reminds me of the whole stream of consciousness that is followed and Virginia Woolf's life.
Oh, that's interesting. No, I've read excerpts of Virginia Woolf very long time ago, but I didn't read it specifically in context of this project. But now I want to revisit.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Any other questions? Okay.
I think this question is more for Jennifer. The movie is called Tempting Madness. So how many times did madness actually tempt you? And you've also said that this is a personal story very close to you.
Yes.
So how were you able to kind of still be neutral and approach this subject? What were the challenges like? Because this is a personal story to you.
Yeah.
And your role as a director is almost, sometimes you have to be neutral and work as a professional.
Yeah. As a director, it's always my goal to find the humanity in each of the characters. So it was really important to me. Coming into this circumstance, I had a very close relationship with the character that is presented as Mia, but it was and I, of course, also knew the character that's presented as Jake. It was very important to me when casting that role and when crafting that role as a writer that we treat that character with as much compassion as we could. And that was one of the gifts of finding Austin Stoll, this is a subject matter that was very close to his heart, and he really was compassionate and empathetic for his character. And I think that was very important for the film so that we could have that lens on it. In terms of myself being tempted into madness, I would argue that all of us feel tempted into madness at some time or another. I think that life is stressful. It's very hard to go through an entire life without feeling like you are challenged in your own way mentally. And that is where the title comes from in so many ways, that we can all be tempted by madness. And sometimes it's easier to believe the lie than it is to believe the truth because, in circumstances, it can be easier to blame others than ourselves.
Yeah.
Thank you. I felt the subject of the movie is universal. So I'm wishing all the very best so that all the audience can connect to this subject, which needs to be talked more and presented in this mainstream mediums like cinema.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Kiran.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we now come to the end of this fruitful discussion. So thank you, panelists and audience, for posing very interesting questions so that we got more idea about the context of the movie, even without the trailer.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. It's more interesting. So
Great.
Yeah. Now
That
they
was the
can.
idea.
It's more mysterious. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now they will be watching the movie immediately.
Great.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
So,
you so much.
thank you, panelists. So we would like to present you a memento from
Oh,
PIB.
sweet.
So
Thank you.
I request the guests to come down.